Hi, my name is Steven.
It is I, Kevin.
And I am David, the eldest champion.
And we are the Brothers Born.
We invite you to bear witness as this most unlikely of throwdown is about to commence.
Welcome back to Unlikely Throwdowns. This is your host, Steven.
Yep, we got a special edition this time. A little
That
bit. I sounded like David there for a second.
you did. That is our other host, Kevin, my older brother. And we have our guest host. Introduce yourself again, even though you're basically a host at this point.
Uh, Brendan, glad to be back.
Yes. I think Brendan has been on more episodes of our podcast than our other brother, David, lately. So we welcome him as always. As Kevin said, we do have a special episode brewing for you today. We have a theme going here. Kevin, do you want to explain a little bit?
Well, as we record this, of course, you guys are probably going to hear it a little bit later afterwards, but it's Mario Day.
Mario Day.
So,
I didn't know this was a thing until you texted me the other day. Actually, I had no idea.
I didn't know either until I saw like a message or something. I was online doing something, and it was like Mario Day. I was like, well, Mario Day, okay, why? And then it goes March 10th, and if you spell it, like looks like Mario. So I was like, oh yeah.
So,
So
and March has got all the good holidays. They got Mario Day. They got Pi Day. They got St. Patrick's Day. I guess that's cool. I'm more excited about Mario and Pi Day, but
I got my birthday.
your birthday, my wife's birthday, my other sister-in-law's birthday.
Sometimes Easter.
Sometimes
Sometimes
Easter.
Easter,
This year it's
yeah.
Easter. And
Yeah,
David's
this year.
birthday's in March also.
Yeah, David's birthday is in March as well. Our parents' wedding anniversary is in March. If
Yeah,
it wasn't
that's
for them,
right.
we wouldn't be here. So
That's true. That's true. Gotta give them some credit
Shout
there,
out
for
to
sure.
them.
For sure. So yeah,
So-
go ahead. One of us is going to do a Mario character today.
Yep, which was, I believe, you, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Let me introduce the other reason this episode is special. Kind of a sadder turn. Akira Toriyama died in the past week,
Oh yeah.
and so we thought it'd be a nice little homage to him to have a Dragon Ball Z character, or one of his characters, probably a Dragon Ball Z character, in this podcast. So we're celebrating the life of Mario and the life of Akira Toriyama in this episode of Throwdowns today.
Basically, we just want an excuse to have a Mario character fight a Dragon Ball Z character.
Yes. Dragon Ball Z is probably everyone knows him from Dragon Ball Z. But Brendan, what are some other things that you know a little bit better than us that Akira Toriyama did the artwork for?
Chrono Trigger is a
Yes.
big one, and Dragon Quest is a really big one that he also did all the art for. He also did his first manga. The only reason I know this is because I was watching Dragon Ball, and there's this part where Goku goes to this weird village, and I was like, "What is this?" Because it was like completely off the wall, and it's a thing called like Doctor Slump, and it's like a gag, goofy anime, and
Okay.
it's his first manga, and he put it into Dragon Ball, and there's like a little couple episodes that Goku goes there, and I was just like, "This is just so weird and off the wall." I had to look it up because I was like, "I don't understand why this is a thing." Um,
That's
but
cool.
yeah,
I never
those are
heard of
his
that.
biggest
Yeah, that
ones.
Dr. Sloop. I haven't seen it or read it, but I've heard of Dr. Sloop. It's like an android girl or something.
Yeah,
And Dr. Slump or Dr. What is Dr.
Slump.
Slump. Yeah.
I'm familiar with Chrono Trigger because it's one of the greatest role-playing games ever made. I've never actually played. I played the first Dragon Quest game on like Nintendo, and I fought every 5 steps. I fought a freaking slime. I'm like, this is dumb, so I stopped
I mean,
playing it.
that's old Nintendo RPGs for you. But yeah, Dragon Quest is huge. It's kind
Yeah.
of like it's like Final Fantasy, but like a little more lighthearted and more like standard, I guess. But it's always more goofy. I mean, the art of the creatures are just the best.
Yeah,
You have the craziest, goofiest, coolest looking creatures, and I mean that's because of Toriyama. So
I've always wanted to kind of get back into Dragon Quest again, but but yeah. So he's had a great career. I never met the guy, but I'm sure he is cool, and we're gonna celebrate him today in our throwdown, as well as Mario Day, March 10th. So
One thing I will say, what I thought was interesting about him is I saw a thing like an interview with him one time where he was like basically he didn't really care. He's just like, like the stuff that he makes. He's like, I make what the fans want to make. Like that's what they want to see. That's what I'm gonna make. And he was like, I don't even really read the comic or the manga that I write. Like he just was that dedicated to his fans, to make sure they
Yeah.
got the story that they wanted, and rather than you know him coming up with whatever. So
That's interesting. I also heard once that, maybe this correct me if I'm wrong, but Dragon Ball GT was not really his passion project. It kind of like he kind of wanted to end Dragon Ball Z, but like you said, he kind of just kept
I
getting
don't
back
think
to
he
it.
was even involved, to
Oh, he
be
wasn't?
honest.
Okay, cool.
yeah, now I don't think so because I think Dragon Ball Super supersedes Dragon Ball GT.
Okay. I never got into GT personally. I was always a Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z. It was my jam, and when I was like 11, though, man, after school, Toonami, it was so sweet. But all right, well, let's get into it. I guess, Brendan, who do you want to introduce their character first?
You.
Me. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mario has made, we've done Mario before, way back when, before we had this podcast, we did a couple of these Unlikely Throwdowns on our Brothers Born podcast, and we did Super Mario versus James Bond. So I didn't want to do Mario himself, even though it is Mario Day. I wanted to do a different character from Mario. My character is a king,
Bowser?
not Bowser.
That's the hint, King.
That's it.
If I give you any more, you're gonna know
Is-
exactly who
Wait,
it
is
King-
it King? Is it King Bob-omb?
It is
King-
King Bob-omb, yes.
Dude,
the
I
only
was
other
actually-
king I was gonna think of is Boo, so
Oh yeah, there was King Boo. That's funny because I was actually thinking about doing King Bob-omb at one point in time and King Boo, but I never did either one of those two.
Oh, dude, King Boo versus Majin Buu. That'd be another DBZ Mario throwdown we could do.
Maybe we'll just
The
do a couple
Boos.
of Maybe we'll just do a couple of these. I don't know.
No, yeah, I chose King Bob-omb. I always loved King Bob-omb. Growing up at Mario 64 is kind of the Mario game I grew up on. I played like the old ones with David and Kevin growing up, but they weren't like, I don't consider them my Mario game. Kind of like how Zelda Ocarina of Time is my Zelda game. It's like the one I kind of when I first really got into it. Mario 64 was the one for me. And the very first level is you fight King Bob-omb on the top of the mountain. And I just thought he was so freaking sweet. He has that crown and that sick mustache, and I just loved him. Something about those Mario characters are just so cartoony and like just silly. I don't know. They just warmed my heart so much. So I chose King Bob-omb, and he's a legend. There's not a lot of information about my dude King Bob-omb, but enough where I think I can make a good case for him. So.
plus when you talk to him, he goes, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Like, how can you not love this guy? Like,
That's true. That's
regardless
true.
if he wins today or not, we all three love King Bob-omb. And he's a dedicated friend. He went to Bowser's wedding in the last Mario movie. Like, he's loyal to his friends, and I don't know, he's pretty cool. I got some cool things to share about him a little bit later, so get ready.
King Bob-omb. That's my dude. I can get behind King Bob-omb. I would say my favorite Mario game was actually Mario Sunshine.
That was a good one. I like that one
It's
the
very
best.
good.
I
That one's
just
good.
started on 64. I borrowed Brendan's copy of Super Mario Sunshine, and I think I had it for like 15 years or something like that.
Hey, I mean, I definitely had some of your games for. Actually, I still have a couple of your games, probably.
But all right, Kevin, let's see if I
All
can
right.
guess your guy.
All right. Well, I mean, it is narrowed down on the fact that, where I told you kind of where he's from the Dragon Ball / Dragon Ball Z / Dragon
Sure.
Super franchise. But his first appearance was in the printed media on a manga on May 21st of 1985,
Oh, geez. Okay.
and has since been a staple in the ongoing saga that is a part of, comics, films, TV shows.
Krillin.
Yes, Krillin.
Yeah, I was gonna say Krillin because that's like one of the characters that's older, so it would probably be Krillin.
And I know for a fact Kevin was never going to choose Goku because I chose Dr. Manhattan and obliterated him, and we decided no more overpowered characters. So
See, well, I thought about going Gohan because I like Gohan a lot. Like he's my favorite Dragon Ball Z character, but and I was like, that's kind of the same problem because
or if
actually
he-
pretty much any of them, unless you pick like Yamcha.
he sucks, dude.
He does suck. He's
So-
always sucked. It's
Or
ridiculous.
Chaozu, and at least Tien kind of tangled with Frieza for a little bit. The other guys are just like, I mean, it's not their fault. They're just they're not Saiyans. It's not their fault that they're weak. They just are. But I think we could do Goku another time if it's like against another OP character. But I think it's good. King Bob-omb versus Krillin.
I
Two
mean,
That's good.
two lovable bald characters.
Krillin's had situations with the bomb before. If you recall, when it was Android 18, he was going to blow her up, but then he decided she was too hot, smoking
Yeah.
hot, so he didn't blow her up after all. And then then they had a child together. Not really sure how that worked.
Hey man, anything's possible. And if you use your
With love.
imagination. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, well, King Bob-omb. His abilities are there's not a ton of them, but he can explode
Good for him.
and he can throw little bombs, little bomb guys. That's pretty significant. He has a pretty good throw. He can pick you up and throw you. Um, but yeah, he's pretty explosive. So if Krillin's nearby, Dunzo, first he'll throw bombs at him. I'm not sure. Those probably won't be effective because we need to have a dramatic battle, right? But he'll start off with
That's
that.
true.
But as soon as the time comes for King Bob-omb to self-destruct, it's game over for Krillin, dude. I mean, it's game over for both of them, I suppose. But, yeah, Krillin's done when King Bob-omb explodes. I have a little bit more, but there's not the ratio of powers is not as high. Like yours has got a lot more. So please indulge me with Krillin a little bit.
Well, I wasn't going to get quite into his powers yet, but I do want to get into his personality a little. Um, so like he's very loyal to his friends. I think he's probably one of the more loyal characters in the show, to be honest. Especially to Goku and Gohan.
Goku.
Go.
That's the budget, Goku.
That's the fusion between Goku and Go. I don't know, but anyways, like he's really loyal to them, and he has a really big heart. I think part of his, he's like one of the few humans that fights.
Yeah.
Like the rest of them are all aliens and monsters and stuff. But
Him and Yamcha, but Krillin could take Yamcha for sure.
yeah, they're humans, but unlike Yamcha, Krillin's actually got some level of skill, even though he is oftenly used as like for comedic effect. Um, but on top of that, like he's not obsessed with, fighting and stuff like these others are. Well, Gohan isn't either. But anyway, he actually has a fairly normal life outside of fighting.
And he's a
So
good father, unlike Goku.
yeah, dude, Vegeta's a pretty good father, weirdly enough. So yeah, it's just, that's one thing is I like about Krillin is, he's very empathetic about and kind to people and, fighting's not his, I mean, he fights because he has to, but it's not his like livelihood like it is for like Goku and Vegeta and them guys.
Well, if you're talking personality traits, let me just I skipped over that with King Bob-omb, but there is something there. He is the big Bob-omb, Lord of all blasting matter. That's significant.
That is significant.
This is a quote from him. I know it's a little early for the quote game, but it says, quote, "I'm the big Bob-omb, Lord of all blasting matter, King of kabooms the world over." End quote. That's he's the king of all kabooms, man. That's pretty big. And the Lord of blasting matter, like I could take that and run with that a lot more than I originally thought. If he's the Lord of blasting matter, we're not talking just about bombs here. We're talking about explosions in general.
Anything that can be blasted, so to speak.
The Lord of blasting matter, indeed. I like him because
what if when Goku, instead of throwing his spirit bomb, he threw a King Bob-omb?
That'd be so sweet.
That would be awesome.
He's actually kind of sweet in a way. So like, I guess this is his downfall, but he straight up tells Mario how to beat him. Once you meet him, he says, "You'll never take away my power star. I hereby challenge you. Then he says, if you want the star, you must prove yourself in battle." And he asks the question, "Mario, can you pick me up from the back and hurl me to the royal turf? I think that you cannot." So he gives you a hint. This is how you beat me. You pick me up and throw me. But he wants to be fair. He knows he's all powerful. He's Lord of Blasting Matter, so he wants to be fair with his opponent and give them, the opportunity to know how to beat him, even because he knows deep down, He's got
Well,
this.
I feel like that's good in Krillin's case because Krillin notoriously does not have a great fighting record. Um, I have my own
That's
theory
true.
about Krillin. My theory on Krillin is he's actually the strongest fighter in all of Dragon Ball Z, as long as he doesn't get hit. As soon as he gets hit, it's over. But until then,
There was that in Frieza, he throws those. What's that disc? His main disc
dude, I'm
thing?
gonna get into that. Want to get into his abilities, man?
Okay, okay.
Get his abilities here.
So after Mario beats King Bob-omb, he does say farewell. So he's polite in his defeat to Mario. And he gives Mario the star as promised, he says. So, he 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 tells Mario how to beat him. And then when he loses, he's like nice about it. So I guess that's not really helping my case, but I uh I think even though he's Lord of all blasting matter and he's a villain, so to speak, there's a little tender spot in there somewhere.
I got you. That's cool. All right. Well, let me get into some of these powers that he has, because as know Krillin is not. He's typically not one of the stronger fighters,
No.
but maybe he is. So he has super strength and speed, and he has ability to fly, like most of them do. And he can use a variety of
Can you
energies like
explain that one
weapons.
to me in the DBZ universe? Like
What?
all
Why
these
do they
like
fly?
yeah, like these people all over the planet, and they're like, oh, Cell, Frieza, whatever, Saiyans. Then these other ordinary guys fly. Just like, how do you learn that? Like,
I don't know. They gather
He?
their energy, their Kai or whatever it is.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. And then they do train in what's that gravity thing? It's like he's
Yeah,
training with
because
100
I
times
know
gravity or whatever.
because I know Gohan taught Videl how to fly, and she was just like a regular person.
I don't know who Videl is, but
That's go well, it's Hercule's daughter slash Gohan's wife.
oh, cool.
Goku originally didn't know how to fly. At Tien, he learned from Tien actually.
See, Tien's cool, man. He's like got some. He's legit. Of all those weaker characters, Tien is. We're talking about Krillin. Sorry, go ahead.
So, um, so some of these other techs he has are solar flare, which creates an excessively bright light or energy, temporarily blinding his opponents, and
That's handy. That's handy.
it allows him for a quick escape. He uses solar flare quite a bit. Um, uh, he has a this one I don't ever remember seeing use this, but granted I haven't seen all of Dragon Ball stuff. I can't pronounce it though. Kakusandan,
Yep.
which fires a blast from each hand, and then the combined blast is directed above his enemy. It then breaks apart and rains down several smaller energy blasts. Um, I guess he has only used it twice in his entire all of Dragon Ball media. He's only ever used this move twice. It just rains down energy blasts on people, I guess.
It sounds like a maybe you
I
saved
think
it for a
Vegeta
very
used
special
something.
occasion.
I think Vegeta's used something like that a couple times. And then, of course, he has a Kamehameha wave. Shoots a big, powerful ball of high and destructive energy from his hand. So he's one of the characters who can do that. I feel like every character can use that, though. Um, and it's probably his most frequent one. But he also has my favorite Krillin uh, move, which is the Destructo Disc.
Yes, there it is.
Destructo Disc is cool. So he creates like a saw-like energy disc and throws it, and then it just, slices through anything and cut in half, cut
He like
people's
cuts
arms off.
boulders and arms and
Yeah. But so what makes it cool is it's actually a very strong move. And as far as I know, Krillin is the only character to ever have used it.
that's true. I've never seen anyone else use Destructo Disc
I
before.
I think Frieza had some variation of it that he used once, but other than that, Krillin's the only one who ever uses this move.
It's cool. I don't think Krillin grunts as much as the other guys either, does he? I can't
No, he
remember.
doesn't, man. He's more laid back and more like real. I don't know.
I don't think he has much to power up either. He doesn't sit there and power up for a whole episode. He's like, "This is me. This is all I got."
What if
That's all I
like
got.
so Destructo Disc? That is a cool move. Um, well, let me tell you a little about King Bob-omb's powers. Number one, he throws bombs, and when he's feeling particularly like when he really needs an extra edge, he'll throw the Giga bomb. That's a big old bomb. It's like got like a face and like it's like a knight's helmet mask thingy on. You know what I'm talking about? The Giga Bob-omb. It's purple.
Hmm.
It's got like a plated mouth guard. So he'll throw that. It's got bigger blast radius than the normal Bob-ombs. He can self-destruct. But here's the biggest thing that I think King Bob-omb's got for him, okay? The only way to beat King Bob-omb is to pick him up and throw him onto the grass. If you pick him up and throw him off of the mountain, guess what? The battle starts over. You got to do it all over again. So, if you really want to beat King Bob-omb, number one, you have to throw him, and you have to throw him 3 times. It's not like a one and done. You have to do it 3 times in order to beat this guy, just like a lot of other Mario bosses. And if you make the mistake, if you just misstep and throw him off the mountain, then like I said, he says he calls you out for cheating and makes you do it all over again. And that's pretty powerful. He can put you in this eternal loop of frustration
Yeah, that's true.
if you just keep throwing him off of the mountain. And he's like, no, 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 try again. And so that's the only way you can beat King Bob.
Dude, I would say if he was going up against another Dragon Ball Z character like Goku, dude, that would definitely be in his benefit because Goku's too much of an idiot and too strong to understand the finesse of that. Or he would just keep throwing him all over the place, and he would just keep crying like, "Yep, nope, you gotta start over again." So I can get behind that.
That's
Well,
true.
Krillin,
In
no, I
Dragon
don't.
Ball Z, they love kicking people off of mountains, and like they
Exactly.
fly for miles and they crash into another mountain, and
With
somehow this one physical body will put a hole in a mountain. In fact, which is wild. But King
with
Bob-omb's
Krillin, no, I don't think that would be as much. I think Krillin is one of the few characters that's willing to be like, yeah, let me just throw him on the grass then.
hmm. See, that's subjective though. You don't really know that.
Well, I don't know that for sure, no, but I mean, when have you ever seen Krillin like throw blast somebody through a mountain?
That's true. He's
Every
not
other
quite
character
that
has done it, I
powerful.
think. Well, maybe not Yamcha, but like, most of the main characters, have done that to some degree, but I've never seen Krillin do it.
And
I
you
think
did
he's too,
say King Bob-omb is gonna tell him how to defeat him.
He told Mario. Doesn't necessarily mean he will tell Krillin, but he has historically told people how to defeat him, and
I
he's a champ about it though.
I do think Krillin is very underused, and he's a lot smarter and more like empathetic than a lot of the other characters. He doesn't play off that way because he plays off like he's dumb. But like, one reason I think he's really underused is, they're fighting, Android 18. Adrian 18 is this super destructive robot chick, right?
Yeah.
But he was able to use his empathy, or possibly his libido, depending how you look at it, to help kind of persuade this super powerful android not to destroy things anymore. And then she became an ally and, started helping Earth after
He
that.
can pull on the heartstrings a little bit more than some of the other Dragon Ball Z characters.
Like all of them.
No, Chaozu can do it a little bit. And Gohan's got a little bit of a soft side, but uh
When he's a kid, he does. When he's an adult, Gohan's
he's a
a
big
little
goof.
more like Goku
Yeah.
in terms of his. Goku's a terrible parent, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've discussed that before. He's just kind of not there and but he's saving the world all the time, so you can't fault him too bad. Um but I guess maybe you're right with Krillin, but I still think King Bob-omb, like, if you played Mario 64, it is hard to get behind him sometimes. He just keeps spinning, spinning, spinning. Like, it takes a little work to actually get behind him to pick him up and throw him. So you're always kind of facing him, and he'll keep doing that. Krillin's got up in his face. Will just follow him around. It's difficult to get behind King Bob-omb.
I don't know, man. I think Krillin can get behind him because Krillin can fly. Mario can't fly.
I'm not talking about Mario. Oh, you're talking about Mario. Okay, Mario. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, Krillin can fly, and he's fast. So he's like right behind him. And King Bob looks at him. And he's like, "Solar flare!" And then blinds King Bob for a moment. Gets behind him again.
See, I would argue that King Bob-omb might be immune to solar flare.
Yeah, why? Because he's a master of all exploding things.
Yeah, dude, he's the lord of all blasting matter.
I mean,
So you could
that's a
you
fair
could almost
point.
argue that any of those moves that the Dragon Ball Z characters use, he could not necessarily be immune to, but he's like they don't phase him as bad as your ordinary guy. Because he is the lord of all blasting matter.
I feel like Destructo Disc would get him.
Yeah, Destructo Disc would probably be the one that would be a little trickier for him. But like Spirit Bomb from Goku, King Bob-omb don't care about that. He could just absolve that probably and become Spirit King Bob-omb or King Spirit
Spirit King.
Bob-omb. Um, All right, all right. Well, let's let Brendan kind of mull this over for a minute. Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
A wise man once said, "Cash rules everything around me. It's all about the money. Dollar bills, y'all." Now, the Brothers Born are definitely not part of the Wu-Tang Clan. But the sentiment, well, it's still true. When it comes down to it, making content that we do can have some costs when it comes to equipment and certain fees. This is where you come in as a listener. No obligation here, but if you do like what we have and you would like to contribute a little bit of funds our way so we can improve our content, there's 3 different tiers of payment which you can use. The first one is a simple, cheap tier of 99 cents. Not too bad. Next tier would be $4.99, or if you're straight balling, $9.99 for the third tier. Now, there's no obligation here. We're going to do the content either way, but we definitely would appreciate a little help. Thank you in advance, and we look forward to providing more content for you.
Welcome back. So we've got King Bob-omb in this corner, and we got Krillin in this corner. And it's looking to be a pretty tight battle. And so we got the king of all blasting and Krillin, who
Krillin, the king of being blasted.
yeah. Yeah, he does get blasted a lot.
He really does.
I guess like second to Yamcha, he's the one that gets blasted a lot.
But to his credit, he always pulls through. He never actually dies.
Yeah, see, he does.
Yeah, I mean,
he does
did
die.
die.
He has died,
Oh,
but
He's
he has
died
died less
twice.
than. Yeah, he's died less than some of the other characters.
What?
And I will say,
it's just that's like he's died less than the other characters.
so no,
like,
I think
there's
Gohan's died less than him.
there's like no stakes in Dragon Ball Z. You can
There
die.
really
it's
isn't.
like the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Who cares if you die? You're coming right
Yeah.
back again.
Dude, that's why I kind of lost interest after Cell Saga because I was like, okay, they just keep dying and coming back to life. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. Wait, has Gohan ever died?
I don't even know.
I don't know if Gohan's ever died or not. I'll have to look that up.
I
But
don't know about Super, but I don't think in anything up to Buu Saga.
because I know Krillin's died, but he hasn't died as much as some of the other characters. But
That's so
anyway,
weird.
what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like one thing I do think is cool about Krillin, and this has a little less to do with him fighting, but like I said, he is kind of a normal dude too. You know, like Goku and him, that's all they care about is fighting. Like, how does Goku even make money? But anyways, Krillin, he's like a police officer for a while.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You
He
know,
is.
and he's just kind of like, hey, I'm just like a normal dude, but I just really care about my friends and people, and I'm willing to put stuff behind me. And only other character I can think of who kind of can have that sort of attitude is Gohan, which is, I guess, later a problem because he becomes less strong on account of it. But that's what I like about Krillin, man. He's always there for his friends. He's there for him, even though he knows he's not the strongest. And sometimes, maybe he is gonna have to sacrifice himself, but he does so out of love and he really cares about his friends. He's very, very loyal. I think probably even more loyal than Goku in a lot of ways.
So although he may not be physically strong, he is relationship strong.
Yeah, and he's glue, man. He's like Gohan, like he's Goku's best friend. He's Gohan's friend. Like he kind of brings some of the other fighters together. Not all of them. I don't, Vegeta doesn't like him a whole lot.
Yeah.
But
But he doesn't like
No.
anyone though. And
That's
he's just
it.
gotta
That's
stick
true.
up his butt. He's just unhappy all the time.
oh man, one of my favorite things. So I don't know if you guys saw that movie Dragon Ball Superhero.
I have not seen that
I've
yet.
not know.
Okay. I love that movie for 2 reasons. I'm not, I mean, I didn't know who some of the characters were because it's Dragon Ball Super movie, and I didn't see Super. But one, Gohan is like the main character in it, and I like Gohan. And then two, um, Vegeta finally defeats Goku in that movie.
Oh, nice.
It's but it's done in a very like humorous sort of way.
Yeah. Well, hit me with your quote game, bro.
All right. Okay, here's one. Don't know why I'm getting up again. It'd be much easier to keel over. Guess I only have Goku and Gohan to blame. Those 2 guys really changed me for keeps.
Quote, can you pick me up from the back and hurl me to this royal turf? I think that you cannot, end quote.
All right. What chance do I have against him? But if I don't try, then there's no way left to protect my friends.
Quote, if you want the star I hold, you must prove yourself in battle, end quote.
Um, First it was that sewer face, and now I'm against the superhero. I think that's from Dragon Ball.
Sewer face? Was he
Yeah,
talking
I
about?
think I think it's from Dragon Ball during like one of the tournaments in that show.
Quote, you may have
He,
eluded my
he fights
guards.
some weird opponents in Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball is a more whimsical cartoon for sure.
It definitely
It's not
is.
the same. It's a totally different experience watching Dragon Ball. Quote, you may have eluded my guards, but you'll never escape my grasp.
It looked like it was going to be a germ warfare, but the bacteria fight got me ready for that. I have no idea what that was
What?
about.
Oh,
I have no idea. It's got to be
there's
from Dragon Ball too.
it's from yeah. The first tournament he fights a guy named the Bacterian, and this guy has
Oh,
never bathed in his entire life, so he uses stench to fight to fight Krillin. At one point, he puts his hand into his crotch, moves around, and then blows the smell at Krillin.
that's
It's so
crazy.
weird. It's weird. It's really weird.
That's so different than Dragon Ball Z, like just
Yeah.
power up, power up, power up. It's I feel like Dragon Ball is like just a lot more of a fun cartoon.
It's more like an adventure. Yeah.
Yeah. Um that's funny. That's the Bacterian. That's hilarious. Well, Brendan,
So yeah. So
uh,
I think both of the characters have some merit. Like you said, like King Bob-omb is the king of blasting, and
the Lord of all blasting matter.
oh, Lord of all blasting matter. I mean, that's
Yes.
self-proclaimed. Is that actually true? We'll take it the way it's said. I mean, he's probably immune to lots of explosive type attacks. He does have, if you throw him out on the royal turf, he will come back. I get that. Um, my the big downside is he literally tells you how to beat him. That's his downfall. And then obviously Krillin has got, I mean, like Kevin said, his character is he's loyal. He's the glue that holds people together, but also he can hold his own with his ki blast. He can fly. He can do most of the stuff that people in Dragon Ball Z can do.
Yeah.
But also Krillin, yeah, he's I mean the Destructo disc. I feel like that I've never seen that not cut something. So
That's true. Oh, man, they need to hire him for like he could open up a lawn care or like a tree business, like for sure, like a tree cutting business. Hire Krillin and company.
Krillin Company.
so what would happen if you fight King Bob-omb in like a football stadium? Is that the royal turf then?
Ah, the Royal Turf. I think in the game it's the top of the mountain,
It is, yeah.
but in a football stadium.
I don't think it matters if it's royal turf. I think if you just throw him on the ground, just like, oh man, he just called it royal turf.
But that really is the only way to beat him. Like if you do anything else, it doesn't. He's immune to it. You just have to pick him up and throw him. That's the only way.
So to me, it sounds like those are rules set by him, which means like he actually might not even really be affected by being thrown in a royal turf. It's just that those are the rules of the game. So that's what he how he presents as being beat.
He's actually
So
fine.
so
Like
is King Mom actually legit invincible? Like
he's just messing with Mario. He's like, yeah, if you do this, I'll give you the star. All right.
because you can't do anything else.
You can spin around in
Huh.
circles, but he never gets dizzy. By the way, that's another power of his. He's woo woo woo.
Never gets dizzy.
He
Okay.
never gets dizzy.
I don't know. I'm starting to rethink King Bob-omb here.
Um, it's a. You're the judge, Brendan. What do you think, bro?
I'm gonna go with Krillin.
Ah, then let
Just
me.
because my thing is I don't know if he's invincible or not, but he does tell you how to defeat him.
I
And
shouldn't have said
that's
that.
his downfall. That's his downfall.
And
So
I do feel like Krillin is one of the few DBZ characters that would actually pay attention enough to
Yeah,
know to defeat him.
Krillin's definitely smarter, so he would actually like listen to, oh, yeah, I just have to do this. Okay.
He would. Piccolo probably would actually listen.
yeah, Piccolo's
Goku
smart
would
too.
definitely would not. Vegeta definitely would not. And Trunks maybe would.
So let me admit defeat with a quote by King Bob-omb. Quote, What? Can it be that a pipsqueak like you has defused the Bob-omb King? And then he says, you might be fast enough to ground me, but you'll have to pick up the pace if you want to take King Bowser by the tail.
He tells you how to defeat Bowser too.
He's some friend he is.
He does. Yeah, he's not loyal.
But he's a man of his word, though. The next quote: methinks my troops could learn a lesson from you. Here is your star, as I promised, Mario. So,
but then he like explodes. So I think is he?
We'll leave that part alone. But you know what I love about King Bob-omb, and I keep going back to these quotes, but I love this. He's a friend. If you want to fight him again, you can. He says, quote, if you want to see me again, select this star from the menu. For now, farewell. So even though Krillin beat him, he's like, hey, just click on me again. I'll be happy to do this all day, over and over again, as much as you want, pal.
It's like a game for him, man. It's like he's not actually phased by any of it. It's just the game for him.
You might be right, dude. What if King Bob-omb is like the overlord of the Mushroom Kingdom? He's just laughing the whole way.
He's like the strongest one off. Not even Bowser can defeat King Bob-omb. Nobody can.
He's like,
unless he allows you to. Unless he allows you to.
He is an eternal being. That's amazing. The Bob-omb god of all blasting matter. No, I admit defeat. You're probably right. One destructive disc to his fuse, done. You know, he's catching on fire. But he would come back again. But yeah, I think Krillin would win. It would be a very entertaining battle to watch. Like, all of these, I think, could be fun to watch, but this one in particular, I think, would be very amusing, just because of the nature of these characters. They're so not. This is an unlikely throwdown. At its like we did. This
is one you're just like, if you gave someone like 50 years to guess throwdowns, this is one that they would not think of.
So, it was a good one.
You know what though? What about Chaozu fighting King Bob-omb, since Chaozu just self-destructs?
He does too. I forgot he did that. Huh. That'd be it. Does
pointlessly. He's like, I'm gonna self-destruct, and never does anything. Just blows him up. The enemy is always like, okay, that was weird.
Well, thank you for joining us, Brendan, on Mario Day, and thank you for helping us honor Akira Toriyama with Krillin winning. This was a fun throwdown. If you want to check out, we did an episode, Kevin and I did an episode last week where we predicted the Oscars, so check that out. That's on our Brothers Born podcast. And we did a throwdown recently, Chucky versus Buzz Lightyear. That was pretty fun, so definitely check that out. And it's all available at brothersbornmedia.com.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, Brendan, for joining us again. I gotta stop thanking you, because you're basically one of us now. Just kidding. Thank you for joining us. All right, guys, this was fun, and happy Mario Day.
Woohoo! Woohoo!